The moment we reclaim the authority over our own thoughts, feelings, and choices, we step into the boundless power of our sovereignty. No longer a subject to external forces, we become the conscious architect of our own destiny. Now, if that's not a powerful quote, I don't know what is. But it's true, and I love that idea that we can choose to be energy architects. Absolutely love that. Hi guys, I'm Sarah. For anyone who's new and has just recently started listening, you're very welcome, and thank you so much for your open ears, your open heart, and your open mind. Today is another very special episode as I have Lonna back on the podcast, and I'm so excited to hear her beautifully channeled, always empowering, wise and wonderful wisdom. Hello Lonna, welcome back.
Hello, Sarah. Happy 555 portal.
Oh, happy 555.
We got some good energies coming in today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm actually not too bad at all. I'm loving May, although the weather kind of took a turn there. It's kind of cloudy and rainy, which is good because I planted some things in the ground and courgettes. I think you call them
I have no idea what a courgette is.
It's I knew you'd say that. So it's like it kind of always goes with aubergine and courgette. So it's eggplant and zucchini. Zucchini.
Is it zucchini?
Yeah.
I'm not a zucchini fan, so that's probably why I don't know what that is.
And I also planted squash.
Ooh, nice. Good. Isn't it fun when you're like, it's springtime comes and you're just like, what am I going to plant this year? And yeah, I'm finding I don't normally get excited about that, but I'm wanting to get my hands in the soil and plant some new stuff this year.
Yeah, it does feel nice to roll around in the soil. I'm not gonna lie.
It definitely does. I'm like, when I could be in nature and barefoot and in the trees and just one with nature, I'm about it. You know, I'm always about it. If I could be naked, even better.
And how are you feeling on this portal?
I'm feeling great, in all honesty. I'm feeling really good. We are in a really crazy time right now, as we all know. I mean, we're just getting pummeled left, right, and I feel like I'm operating from a really great space because I just feel like a lot of the stuff going on in the world is not touching me. I just feel kind of like I'm in a little bit of a bubble right now. And I've just been really, really going internally and doing internal work and really just sitting with myself. And this portal is a potent one. This is actually, I'll be really honest, this is actually one of the most potent portals of the entire year. And I will honestly say that some of the frequencies coming in right now, which are really, really beautiful, kind of like snow white, very, very pure white and golden hues, this is some of the highest frequency energy that we will have at any point in our incarnation in this lifetime. We are in a very intense time and we need to utilize these energies. Very potent time. And what's happening on this 555 portal? So 555 is all about change. And we are on the Taurus new moon. Taurus is all about that calm, steady, structured balance, slow, methodical, financial, physical, material success and safety. So 555 is change and transformation and expansion and adventure and decisive action. And that's also what I want to focus a little bit on today, because the focus of this portal is pretty much prosperity and abundance. It is a prosperity and abundance portal. And what's happening is we are shifting timelines. And if you actually look at the Schumann resonance from yesterday, there is actually a timeline collapse that happened around 9:30 last night, and then again at 2 a.m. And we can actually see, and I've never seen this in the Schumann resonance before. I've never seen even what that looks like in the lines and the frequencies, but we did have a timeline collapse, and we can feel us moving between timelines right now. We can feel things shifting. And today, actually, the last few days, today and the next couple of days is very potent energy. It doesn't have to be just today, but we are in the time frame of the portal. And this is a cosmic gateway of transformation that really does have the potential to shift timelines. And what I mean by that is really focusing on shifting your money mindset to abundance, because abundance doesn't just encompass money, but we are focusing very much on prosperity consciousness. That is, it's an idea of abundance as a whole, but prosperity in the sense of what is it that we're building in our life? What are we trying to create in the world? And right now, the energies are really, they're breaking open new realities, and we're bringing in soul aligned abundance, which means we are aligning ourselves to our path. We are aligning ourselves to what we came here to do. And we are getting out of our way of trying to hustle and grind and make things work. We're supposed to let that all go. That's the time of that is over. And it's really a time of leveling up, like spiritually, emotionally, and right now materially. So if you are not aligned to the path that brings you joy, to your creative pursuits, the things that are going to feed you on all levels, then you need to find out what that is, because we are moving into pretty much having to dissolve old limitations to make way for new opportunities. So the option of moving into a new timeline, a new abundance timeline, is right now. And we can do that by making decisions and making choices in the moment that is aligning ourselves to our higher timeline, to the higher frequency. And that is right now, we have a huge space where we're healing lack and scarcity. And we are really removing old energies and establishing a new prosperity consciousness, which is really just getting out of our own way, removing the obstacles to just allowing ourselves to be led where we need to go, and to really, really give energy to attracting prosperity and like new and unexpected ways. And right now, there's a lot happening for us. We're being gifted all this beautiful energy. So a lot of it is just allowing it to be, just allowing yourself to receive and to get out of the way of what would be in the way of you receiving that. There's not a lot that needs to be done here. It's just a matter of fully allowing and sitting with self and being like, what do I want to create? And visualizing what that looks like, visualizing yourself already living that life, living within that frequency, because we have the ability to shift timelines within a moment, because it takes but a moment to shift yourself to that higher frequency, because you're making decisions that align you to a higher point of ascension, essentially. And when we are in this energy, it's really not about like connecting outside of ourselves, but it's really about like returning to fullness within self, within our own bodies, within our own minds, and what we're trying to create in the world. So really, a lot of us we just have to allow and receive, because the energies are here, they want to give it to us. But if we are focusing on too many things, or we're trying and we're pushing against something that doesn't make sense, it's like sit with self, connect to your higher self, allow yourself to lead yourself where you need to go. And does it feel good? Does it feel aligned? Does it feel dissonant? Where do I feel that in my body? And we really, really are receiving these light codes to activate the dormant DNA and to attune to a higher frequency light body. And that's a process that allows our vessel to like hold the most light. And the frequencies coming in right now, we can't really receive them if our vessel is clogged, if we're dense, if we have issues, if we have things that are in the way. So really, really just sitting in self, all the practices we always talk about, the frequencies, the meditation, the salt baths, getting in nature, movement, whatever that is for you, whatever brings you back into alignment to self, that's what we need to be focusing on. And really, really, really focusing on your own journey, not worrying about what's going on around you, not worrying about the news or the wars, which, we're on still a positive timeline right now. So there is no war right now in our timeline. Well, there is, I'm not going to minimize that, but whether we hit a World War III or not, we are still on the positive timeline for that. So there's a lot in the news that is trying to keep us in fear, keep us distorted, keep us confused. But we are really like, it's like, I hear you, I see you, but I'm coming back to self. I honor you, I see you, I'm coming back to self. And it's not that we're not pretending it's not there, but I'll be honest, I don't watch the news. I don't allow people to talk to me about the news. I don't engage in that. It's just not a part of my experience. And when I'm around someone that does bring that to me, it's such a dissonance that it's just like, it's so obvious that we're just not in resonance anymore. Or this conversation is just not in my timeline anymore. And we're going to see a lot of weird timing things happening. Like I was watching, I really like this girl named Erin. She does this Schumann resonance thing. It's like 5 minutes a day. And she talks about how the energies are shifting. And she was talking this morning about how she said she went down to her basement and she's like, I swear to you, there is an item there that I sold from my basement 3 months ago. She's like, I have the money for it. My husband remembers this conversation when I sold it. She's like, but there it is in my basement, sitting in my basement. And she's just like, timeline. The same day they went up to the mountains. They went up on an hour and a half drive. And she's like, we put on a podcast right when we left the driveway, and that only an hour, or sorry, a half an hour of the podcast had played, but they drove for an hour and a half. So there's weird little timeline. And I've had things like that happening too. My mom and I have been talking about it, just weird little glitches. And I'm sure a lot of you, once you pay attention, you'll be like, oh yeah, like it's those little deja vu moments where you're just like, hey, wait a second, something's a little timing is off or something's happening.
Yeah.
And we're going to be noticing that more and more with, especially right now, the collapsing of timelines. So
Yeah.
it's really crazy. Tell me.
I ordered a new duvet set, and I ordered kind of like a pink and white one, kind of baby pink and white one, and it came in brown, like brown and white. And I was like,
Okay.
oh no, that's not the one I ordered. And I went over, I asked Andres, I was like, Andres, look, it's brown. Although maybe it wasn't supposed to be pink because there's lots of woody kind of colors in my room. And I was like, maybe that was supposed to be the color I should have ordered. And that's what happened. The universe sent me brown, and that's it. I'm going to just
Isn't
accept
that
it.
isn't that amazing?
I woke up the next morning and it was pink.
No way.
I was like, Andres, look at that. Come on, I'm not going mad. That was brown. I ordered the pink. It was brown, and now it's gone back to pink again.
But he agreed with you, right? He saw it. Okay, exactly. It's just like now that we have people in this with us, it can't even be denied, where it's like, yeah, that didn't happen. It's just like, there's weird stuff happening, and it's just like, okay, I'm just like, hopefully I'm on the higher timeline than whenever that happened before, but
yeah, gas.
For me, okay, so when I keep saying my guides, and my higher self is really getting on me about not doing that, because all of those guides are me. So it's like, okay, like obviously I have my dragon parallel, and I'm like, these are all forms of myself. So it's like when I'm like, my guide's this or my guide's that, my higher self is like, it's still an external representation of who you are. You're still looking externally, when really that's actually you. And you're just channeling your higher self. Like, you're not channeling anything else but your higher self. So it's just a very interesting process for me. So they've been really teaching me and really, really sitting with, and this is something I really want to focus a lot on, because see, I'm still doing it. I need to correct. I have been telling myself to really focus on the path of neutrality. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, really, everything is just energy. There is no good or bad. And I always talk about this, is there's no good or bad. Whatever connotation we give to something is the energy that we give it and the power that we give it. So for example, I've been looking at, say, a Dolce purse as the same energy as a paperclip. And when you look and give the same attention and energy to all things, everything becomes a path of neutrality. It's like you enter into the space of all that is. Everything is, but ceases to be. I might be getting a little philosophical here, but that it's kind of that energy where it really is the path of neutrality, allowing what's coming into your experience without shying away from it, without restriction, without trying to judge it, without putting a connotation to it, just letting it be what it is. And when I associate and give energy and more energy to something, that means I'm creating a connection to that thing because I'm giving it more intention and more energy. So therefore it becomes more important. And I decide what's important and what's not, as opposed to somebody telling me, oh, this is good, this is bad, because of someone else's preconceived notion of that being true. So say I scrape my leg and I'm like, well, anyone would be like, well, ow, that hurts. And oh, now I have to think about this. And, I have to care for it for a couple days. But it's like maybe scraping that leg, I had a lesson that came, or maybe scraping that leg, I released some energy through the blood that needed to go from my body. And it's just like, thank you, universe. Whatever that was for was needed. And if you honor everything as a lesson, everything in a neutral space, it's a sacred space. It's like, it's pretty much 0 point. You're pretty much entering into 0 point energy, and you decide the meaning of everything. You get to, it's like a blank slate. It's like that chair over there. What does it mean? That lamp over there. What does it mean? And it's like, I assign the meaning, not somebody else who has told me that's a lamp. That's what this is. Or it's red. It's like, it's really deciding that, $1 million is the same as a penny. It's the same energy. It's the energy in which we give to it. Somebody else gave that denomination the power. You know what I'm saying?
You're so right.
Really, it's what we choose. We get to create our own reality. And when we say we create our reality, it's like we really can create every element of our own reality.
Totally. Yeah. And if you really think about it, money really is only paper. It's only the value that people assign to it that makes it valuable. But is it valuable?
No, because it's like it's made from a Federal Reserve that's infinite with no one to answer to. It's like monopoly money. It's like this is the thing. It's like, it's just paper. It's exactly it. It's just paper. Someone decided what that meant. Someone decided how to use that as an energy, and everyone conformed to using that in a way of energy. And now we're all stuck in the ways of someone else deciding how we use that energy. That's not, energy is energy. We can play with it. We can work it in any way we want. We can alchemize it. So understanding that connotation, that $100 bill is the same as that penny because I decide it to be in my reality. That's what I'm creating. That's the power I'm giving it. It has no power except the power I give to it. And so when you can approach everything as neutral, not good or bad, you are just in an absolute state of flow with creating through the universe, allowing the universe to source through you and allow you to step into your natural embodiment of your highest form, your highest self, because all these other opinions and energies, all these things have nothing, like, you allow anyone, it's kind of like a Sims game. I hate to bring this in, but it's like you build from the ground up how everything means to you and what you give meaning to and the relationships you give meaning to and your work and your spare time and each item in your home. What does that give you? How does that balance you? And we can create our reality. Like, it's literally like, I'm getting the image of Doctor Strange right now when like all the worlds are like merging and conforming. And I'm like, I know that sounds a bit kind of like scattery, but we can change it and at will. And this is a perfect example of how he just creates the stairway or creates this thing out of nowhere. And it's like, we all have the ability, this is going to sound nuts, to do exactly that. Exactly what he's doing in Doctor Strange. We have those abilities. We just have to understand that we do, and we have to believe that we do. And that's going to take some time for those gifts to come online, but we really are connecting in a telepathic way. We are learning how to connect from our heart space in a very, very different way. And that's weird. It's uncomfortable. It's like everyone's in their own process of what that looks like. And it's like, like friction, and some things flow so beautifully and other things are so not in resonance. But if we just be like, okay, let that go. What's not in resonance, let it fall off. It's like, I'm getting the visual of like just the raindrops on the back of a duck, just let it roll off. It's like, it's just let it roll off. And it's just like, thank you for that cooling, thank you for whatever that brought. And it's like, not being like, oh, that was hard, or oh, that was amazing. Well, enjoy your experiences, but like, don't attach to good or bad. I think that's the path of neutrality. A Dolce bag is the same as a paperclip. That's what I keep telling myself. It's energy. And we are alchemizers, and we are creators. We are creators. We are an extension of creation. So we are the creators, and it's just like, how do we create? Each one of us is a different facet of that creation. So how are we going to shine?
Yeah, we're architects.
We are. Yes, I love that. Yeah, we are.
Energy architects.
We are.
Amazing. That's lovely and really empowering. And I have noticed in the people around me that they're not that bothered about different things anymore that they used to be bothered about. Like you said, it's just like water off a duck's back. They're just kind of, things aren't bothering them. That's just a big sign of our evolution. And we're kind of growing into a more mature space and stepping into our sovereignty.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think it's also too, there's so much chaos where
Hmm.
it's just like there's more important things, when there's so much suffering in the world and there's so much discord and like there's so much happening with Gaia and nature and politics and everything that's going on, the war fears, like all of that. It's like there's so much happening where it's just like sometimes you got to turn the noise off,
Hmm.
there's just it's bombardment and it's like people can't handle that anymore. Some
Hmm.
people, there's only so long you can buy into the drama and be like, oh, I feel so bad about them and I feel so bad about that. And of course we do. And we should send them love always. But giving energy to that, it's a perfect example of this is the war timeline. There's all these types of things in the media trying to propagate war, trying to create fear. And the more we give energy to feeling sad, not that we shouldn't feel sadness for the beings that are being affected by this, of course, but it's like the more we're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for them and that's so terrible and I feel so bad for them and or your anger in regards to what's actually happening or taking a side, this person's right or this side's wrong. It all of that energy, it's just like there's so many things that are happening that are not right and they shouldn't be happening, and we can give them love and send energy, but engaging in them, perpetuating them, especially the war narrative, is what it will actually create the war, because what we give energy to is what manifests. So when we are looking at the war, worrying about the war, worrying about the beings dying, which we, of course, but there's a bigger aspect to that. Every being who chose to be here on Earth at this time knew what was happening, knew what was going to go down. And we have to understand we all have our roles to play in that. Not everybody is meant to make it to the new world, or not everyone wants to be there at that time. Not everybody can handle that frequency. So there are many beings that are choosing or have chosen prior to this lifetime to leave, actually prior to the frequency shift, to actually allow the rest of us a better chance of actually attaining that frequency. When we have less beings on the earth, we have a higher chance of actually hitting that frequency shift and more beings actually ascending to a higher space. So what we give energy to manifests. So when we give energy to ourself and our own process and healing our own stuff and activating to a higher timeline, making those choices in each moment to be better of the light. Also honoring our bodies. Like I've been fasting, I don't want to eat a lot of stuff. It's just like where we are doesn't need to make sense right now. We just have to trust ourselves. And that's the big thing, is trusting ourselves, not giving into what's going on in the world, because that will build the timeline we don't want. When we give energy to the fear, to the politics, to all the things, then we are actually building that fear energetic more into the entity that can actually create that war scenario, which obviously we don't want.
Yeah, I have to say, Spain pulled a blinder in the blackout last week when not there wasn't a big fear reaction at all whatsoever. People continued in bars, having drinks, playing, chatting. The sun was shining and life went on, and people enjoyed, well, most people in my circles, apart from, the odd few people who got stuck in lifts and trains, but as far as I know, there weren't many accidents. Most of everyone just got on with life and kind of enjoyed it. So it was nice.
I can't tell you how happy that makes me to hear, because Spain and Portugal, I know it went down in other places, but Spain and Portugal was actually supposed to be, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but that was the dark agenda, that was the cabal that did that. You guys were supposed to be out for 2+ weeks, longer than that, because you were the test to see how humanity would react. And really, it's not the event that's the main issue, not issue, but it's really how do you respond to a crisis? How do you respond to the event? Are like how do you are you acting in integrity? So the fact that you guys all got out in the streets and you all were connecting on your porches and talking and connecting as humans, and you made the best of it, and you took that time. You were telling me that, someone got to read a book, and like there's like someone had the time to read when they hadn't read in forever. It's just like we take those moments to be like, hey, I'm gonna utilize this. I'm gonna take this time for self. And that to me is the determining factor of where we are in humanity. Because I mean, granted, if it was 2 weeks, we would have had a very different reaction from most people, let's be real. But in that time frame, and the fact that it came back up, you said you were out for 5 hours, some people 24. But really, the fact that people just did what they needed to do and they helped each other. And also your timeline, everyone chose to be in a higher space of enjoying that. I'm sure there were other timelines where people were really in it and not having a good time, but you and your timeline, Sarah, and the people that are around you, that says so much about A, where you are, and B, the fact that people are looking to connect. People want to connect, and this just gives them an opportunity to do that. So I can't tell you how happy that makes me, because it was the opposite effect of what they had intention. And that makes me really happy, because that's just, humans are innately good. They really are. They really, really are. And it's beautiful to have an opportunity to see that.
Yeah, totally. It really was amazing. And also another thing, they weren't even on the radio, they were broadcasting calmness. There's no need to panic. There wasn't any fear mongering. It was all just, they'll be back on soon, and just get on with life.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love that. That's what we should be doing. It's like, and that's a perfect example. There's so many things like, the Tesla riots, which actually a lot of that is staged to create fear. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that's happening to perpetuate that fear. And by us saying, wait a second, I'm not going to buy into that, that is so powerful. That is shifting the timeline. That is shifting the frequency to a higher frequency. And like, I can't tell you how happy that makes me to hear, because we're in such a war, of like, I don't want to say dark and light, but really, because dark is light, and everything will get transmuted eventually. But that just kind of proves where we are, and when we're in those moments of darkness, how do we respond? So beautiful. I love that so much.
Yeah. And I suppose it's a test of our response. And we get those little tests, even in our day-to-day lives, of how to respond. We can choose to respond one way or another, or we can neutralize it, like what you literally just said, and come from a space of neutrality.
That's honestly, you just nailed it right there. That's literally everything. That's all we have to do, Sarah. Every little moment of every day, we're doing this 1,000 times a day. It's like, what am I going to have for breakfast? Like, am I going to have 3 coffees today, or am I going to have 1? Like, it's all those choices. It's all those little things that accumulate to operating from a higher timeline. And it's just like, the more and more we pick the healthier choice, the more and more it will just naturally attune to our body, and we won't even think about it anymore. Those things in our body, those things that we need to do, those intentions, they will be second nature. It won't be that, oh, I don't want to make this choice in the moment. It won't be that deciding factor. And if you make, the lesser choice, or if you do something, I'm like, you always find your way back. It's like, it's just a little detour, and then you're back on the track. It's very much like how I'm seeing a lot of life right now. Is it's kind of like directions on a map. Like when you get like why can't I think of the word? I keep satellites coming to mind. That's not right.
A sat nav?
A what?
A sat nav?
I have no idea what word you're expressing.
Remember before Google Maps came out, and we had like these like car devices that used to give us directions?
Oh, yes.
The sat
nav. Yes. Okay. That's not what we call it, but yeah, exactly. So essentially what I'm saying is, we're on our destination, our path, and we have our GPS coordinates. And then something happens and we get rerouted, and we're like, uh-oh, where am I? And you're kind of rerouting, and you're just trying to find your bearings. And, you may have to go on a bit of a detour, but you always reroute back to your original destination. And that's what my higher self has been showing me over and over. It's just like, it's okay. You're just rerouting. You're just rerouting, and you're finding your way back. And like, that's the thing. It's our internal compass. We will always find our way back to our highest timeline. It's okay if we make these choices. We just can have an instant manifestation if we are doing it back to back to back. Like, but there's no definitive time frame of how that looks, and we are doing the best that we can in each moment. But really, it's like 1,000 choices per day where it's just those little things that, which timeline are we going to be on? But
Yeah.
we're doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think people want to feel healthy. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I think. I think people want to feel better. They feel dense, they feel heavy, they're sleeping. There's a lot of ascension symptoms. And if they can do anything to help themselves feel better and feel a little bit more in control of their life, then that's what they're doing. So I'm finding people are naturally making the better choices. And it's beautiful to observe, to be honest, because I'm seeing things in people that they wouldn't have done that before. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, oh, I see that little shift there. Oh, wow, that's a little different. And you can see it in the people around you too. And even people who are not operating from the highest frequency and they're on a different timeline, we're all in this together until we merge and spread. So
Yeah.
how that looks, I don't know.
Yeah. And it's just a little decision. I love that what you said there. It was just little decisions can totally put you back on your right path, and a little decision can send you wandering. Like me, I'm an awful
Yeah.
wanderer.
Me too. And you know what? Wanderings, sometimes you find the treasures when you get lost.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're meant to get lost because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I found this little jewel and
Yeah.
I compass back on, like you never know why you're led where you are. And the more you're just like, okay, because nothing's linear. We're
Yeah.
never going to have a destination A to B. It's just not what we're here to do. That's not how we learn and grow. So when we're okay with the detour, when we're like, what new adventure am I going to be on today? Like,
Yeah.
I've been waking up in the morning and my first thought, my higher self has been like, make sure your first thought of the day is high frequency because that determines your frequency, the timeline in which you're entering the day on. So
Yeah.
I'm very much like, I'm open to all possibilities today. I'm in a great mood today. I'm ready for whatever is meant to come to me today. I
Mm-hmm.
feel happy about what's, like whatever that is. And it's really shifted my day. Like it has started my day. I can feel the difference of frequency that I'm in. I can feel when there's decisions coming in where I'm like, oh, if I make that decision, I'm going to drop down on the scale a bit. And sometimes I make that consciously because I know that's what I'm meant to learn. And I
Yeah.
think there's a balance of that is not always trying to be, we're never going to be perfect. We're never going to be on a linear path. We have to allow the obstacles. We have to allow the little detours because that's going to make us stronger. And the visual I'm getting right now is like, I don't know why, but again, a video game. And they're just like, when you like are in these video games and you're like, oh, I got 200 points for, you can open this chest and now you have a sword. And it's like, it's those little things when you go on these detours, you pick up these little tools and tips and tricks and stuff that
Yeah.
actually help you on your path. And it's like, I'm just going to put it in my pack and I'll bring that out later for when I need it. And it's
Totally.
beautiful. Like, I don't know why I'm getting all these video game visuals
I love
today.
that, but it's nice to kind of put things into perspective and create a little image in our minds to help us resonate deeper. Oh, I love
Yes, agreed. One more thing I do actually want to bring up, and I feel it's really so balancing the masculine feminine. And I know I always talk about this, but I feel like right now everything is about flow, finding the flow and being in the flow. But I'm like, we also have to remember the masculine aspect of logic, action, and rationale. So we can't manifest things unless we're actually actioning something.
it.
We have to find the balance of the masculine, which is action, logic, and kind of practical action, the physical world, and materializing in the physical. The feminine is all about flow, finding yourself in places. Where am I meant to be? And finding these opportunities. But we have to understand if we're not balanced within that. I mean, if we're actioning all the time and not flowing where the opportunities are, we're not going to get the right opportunities. And if we're
Mhm.
just floating all over the place and not actually intentioning where we want our destination to be, then we're also not going to manifest in the ways that we want. So
Yeah.
really finding the balance of the energies of the masculine, feminine within ourselves and how that manifests because we're both, right? And we
Mhm.
have to find the balance of when am I meant to action and when am I meant to flow. And I
Mhm.
think that's really something, if we are finding we're a little bit floaty or we're just too go, it's like pull yourself back in and really find that balance because we're being asked to we are being asked to flow, but we also have to be conscious of what we're trying to manifest,
Mm-hmm.
visualizing, actually thinking and embodying that energy as if we are already there,
Mm-hmm.
like visualizing it, seeing it, talking it. And we have such an ability right now to shift timelines so quickly where something can fall in your lap tomorrow if you are just wholeheartedly believing in it and you're like, this is what I'm meant to do. The
Yeah.
universe wants to provide,
Yeah.
wants to give you the things that you want, but we have to know how to manifest correctly in the ways that we're bringing in the things that we actually want, not from a place of lack or scarcity, which is going to keep bringing us the same lessons of lack and scarcity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is reminding me of people might be shocked at how quickly they can manifest, and they might feel, oh no, 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 I'm not ready. Because the potent energies are so intense right now, and so many people are just like getting into the manifest kind of space. I have found that some people won't realize how quickly they'll be able to manifest something, and maybe they may not even have to take such like deep action. Maybe the opportunity might fall on their laps, and they'll be like, oh shit, I didn't expect that to happen so quickly. Oh no, I don't want that. So you have to really be careful what you wish for.
You nailed it. I'm so glad you brought that up because that's true. And it's the kind of like what we were talking about on the last podcast, like fear of success, fear of the light, fear of actually being embodied in that. And oh, I'm so glad you brought that up because that's true because we don't trust things that come like that. We don't trust free things. We don't trust things. And maybe if we don't understand the process of how we got there, it doesn't feel safe when it's
Yeah,
just like, hey, this just came up out of nowhere. This is too good to be true. That can't be right. I don't trust it because
yeah,
that's what we've been ingrained to think. So
yeah.
that's such an important thing to say. And I couldn't agree with you more. And I see that with my clients. I'm seeing that where they're like, well, this is happening, but I don't know. And I'm like, trust it. What does it feel like? Does it
Hmm.
feel aligned? If it doesn't, if there's a little bit of dissonance, this is the lessons right now is we can look at something and see something with our eyes and we can take it in and we make it logic and we create our idea of what that is based on what it looks like. But what we are learning now is to feel into what we're feeling. When
Yeah.
I'm seeing something, reading something, hearing something, how does it feel? The
Hmm.
words can mean the words, but what does the energy feel like? And
Yeah.
that's where we really are right now. And that's scary because when things come and manifest in your lap and you're like, you did that. But when you don't recognize you did that and created that, you don't trust it.
Yeah. It's like your logical mind needs to just pipe down for a little while your heart steps in and accepts.
Yes, yes, yes. Always from the heart. The mind will follow. Like when we come from our heart space, the mind will align. When it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what we want. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
But there may be a little resistance. But yeah,
Yeah.
you nailed that on that. It's just like they're a little fearful because we're not used to living in a frequency world where you manifest like that.
Hmm.
And we've been taught, and also I want to bring up the point of law of attraction. The law of attraction, I think, is something that's greatly misunderstood and can actually be a little bit damaging if it's not understood in the right way. Because
Hmm.
people think that it's just like I'm intentioning law of attraction, but I'm like, if you're coming from a space of scarcity,
Hmm.
if you're using the wrong words, you're actually casting a spell, you're casting out to the universe still lack and scarcity or
Hmm.
what it is that your issues are. And it's just like you need to be very intentional in how you're manifesting what you want in your life. Because
Hmm.
really, it's just visualizing that this is and being clear on what you actually want. This is my higher self is like, Lana, you're saying I want to go all over the world, but where do you want to go? What does that look like? Create it. What does your space look like? Like I've literally been visualizing where I want to go, the work I want to do, the people I want around me, the community I want. Like what does the grass look like? How, like like really down, the more details that we can visualize, the more we actually are creating that reality, which makes it easy for us to step into that when we're aligned to that frequency. And if we're already thinking, this is us,
Hmm.
this is where I'm at, I'm aligned here, it will be. And so it is,
Hmm.
truly. And so
Yeah.
it is. And when we believe that, we literally create and step into the timeline that we thought was impossible and that we was not attainable.
Yeah. And now that flight opportunity could land on your lap tomorrow, and you need to get on that flight.
Yes, just say yes. We just
Yes.
need to say yes to the opportunities that feel in alignment and don't feel bad with saying no
Yeah.
to some things that were maybe in alignment before but are no longer. It's okay. Let it go. Let it wash away with the rains because it's not serving anymore and it's just taking up space. And the more we clear, the more we have room to fill our bodies with an activated upgraded DNA with our light body and our Merkaba really coming online. We have crazy frequencies coming in to help us do that. So we really just have to allow. Like, honestly, Sarah, the frequencies right now are some of the most potent that we will experience in this lifetime. It is very high frequency. And I mean, you don't have to, but I highly encourage everybody to work with this over the next couple of days or whenever, but it really is something that if we intention it, we can manifest so quickly. And it's amazing when you actually see that manifest in your life and you're like, whoa, I
Mhm.
did not understand that. But when it happens and you're in it, it keeps happening and it's like this snowball effect of, wow, that's real. I did that.
Mhm.
And even if you don't know where it came from, you did do it because it wouldn't be happening if it wouldn't be in your experience. So trust it, believe it, and flow with it, work with
Yeah.
it, move with it, dance with it.
Yeah. And know that that's what we're here to do. We're here to create. Like, that's literally our
Yes.
role.
That is our only role is to create and give our love to our creations are our expression of our love to the world. That is our light. That is what we all came here to bring. And when we're not aligned to what we're giving the world, our light is dim. So let yourself shine. Put yourself in a position where you can shine as brightly as you're meant to because people need that light and it ripples out into the whole. And the more light, and I will say, on a whole consciousness of humanity, we are doing amazing.
Mhm.
We are activating quickly, faster than the galactic beings thought. We really are. We are activating quickly. We are raising ourselves to a higher frequency quite quickly. So the process is scary. It's uncomfortable. We don't know what that looks like, but it's like trust, trust, trust. You are taken care of. You are supported so much more than is understood, and there's nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear here in any way. Things will be as they are, and we just have to allow things to be as they are. But we need to remain not in a fear space and know that we are good. We are in control of our timeline, and we decide how we operate and where we go and who's around us in that.
Yes, I'm just visualizing. I'm getting an image of us in a little dinghy in this like really rough water going down the mountains, and we're like,
Yes.
we're okay, we're okay.
That's so funny that you said that because I'm like, the analogy I keep using is like with my clients too. I'm like, just imagine yourself like you're in a boat and I'm like, you're in rocky waters and everything's all around you, but I'm like, you're the anchor in the middle of the boat. So I'm like, you can have choppy waters everywhere around you, but it's just like, I'm solid and I'm led wherever I'm going to go. I know I'm going to be solid in this boat. I keep seeing choppy waters in boats.
Yeah.
So we are aligned, sister. We are definitely aligned because that's the world. We're in choppy waters, friends. We are in choppy waters and they're not going to get smoother anytime soon. They will rise and swell and we just need to roll along with it. That's it.
Totally. Oh, I love that. And thank you so much, Lona. Do you have anything else you'd like to share before we head off?
No, I think that feels pretty complete. Just reach out if you need help, please. Like, I have so many people that are just connecting with me that they're like, I don't have anyone in my life that lets me speak about this, that I can talk to about this. And people are awakening at an alarm, not alarming, but a faster rate than thought. And so
Mhm.
we are raising our light consciousness, but also there's a lot of confusion within that because people are awakening and they don't have any support or community around them to help them transition through this, to feel supportive. So please, please, please reach out to Sarah or myself or anybody that you feel that is just that lifeline into the spirit world, into some way. Just reach out, please, because we're not meant to be going through this alone. And there's a lot of beings who have been working very hard to hold the light, and
Mhm.
we can help. So please reach out. That's something I've noticed a lot. I'm sure you have too with your clients.
Mhm.
And that's it. Yeah, just please reach out. We're all in this together. I love everyone. I'm sending so much love, and like
So
we need
much
more
love.
love. So much love. And yeah, I'm here to support. I know you are too, Sarah. So if that's all up for me, please honor your practices, frequency music, baths, all the things like dance, get it out of your body, movement, connection, all the things like whatever makes you feel good, that do more of that.
Yes. And if that includes bathroom raves, you do that on your lunch break.
I think you have to have now everyone has to have a bathroom rave.
Just a 5 minute one, let it all out.
I guarantee you, if you went out and you started dancing, I was like, other people would look at you and be like, oh, I wish I did. I felt confident enough to do that. I swear to you. And it's just like, we need more people out dancing in the parks and dancing around. And maybe
Yeah.
I'll go to the park and dance later.
Yeah, you should.
Maybe I will.
Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time today to listen. And I'm hoping that some of this resonated with you. If it did, that's amazing. And if it didn't, just discard. Like everything and anything. If you're listening to this episode and it's not on the 5th of May, don't worry. You'll still be able to tap into this beautiful magical energy. Since time isn't linear, not in the quantum field, and how easily we flow into that quantum field when we're happy in our heart space and our brain wave slows down. For those of you who aren't aware of what the Schumann resonance is, I've left a little link in the show notes, but feel free to do your own research and find out for yourself through your own search and whichever resonates the most for you or whatever resource you're most drawn to. I've also linked Erin's YouTube, which is very interesting, and she gives a daily report, as Lonna mentioned, regarding the Schumann resonance and what effects it might have on our body. And you'll be surprised, you'll be very surprised that you might have been suffering from symptoms as well. And if you have, you're not alone. Thank you so much again from my whole heart to yours. I wish you the best and most wonderful week ever. And remember, if you think anybody might resonate with this episode, please share. And I would really appreciate if you were able to rate the podcast, like it and share it on whatever platform you're listening. I'm so grateful for you. Take care.